We are talking a lot about wearing different hats and doing a lot of different things. Now I'm also going to change my hat and present something to you. I would like to talk about the role of exhibitions and cooperation in celebrating the 500 years of the Latvian book. Yesterday, Ineta Vaivode guided you through the work of the Exhibition Center, already pointing out the complex methods of cooperation. Today, you will be introduced to another part of the library that is also working on exhibition, the Research and Interpretation Center, which I am part of. It consists of 5 researchers, 1 project manager / curator, the head of the center / curator, and project manager. We love multitasking, and 3 museum educators. The very essence of the center gives us this wonderful opportunity to develop a diverse range of activities, starting from conferences, seminars, public readings, more academic content, and of course exhibitions of a different scale, large scale, small scale. Yesterday we had a bunch of wonderful talks, but all of a sudden in the evening I started to provoke myself and question myself, what if there were no book exhibitions? And actually I'm cheating. I had conversation about this topic with one of the designers. This morning we understood the curator might be dead in some cases. In a very critical and interesting conversation with the designer, who is also working on book exhibitions, she said, I have the feeling that this format will die soon. We don't need book exhibitions. Let's imagine the situation. There are no book exhibitions in libraries. Maybe we have a great variety of different alternative formats. Let's make online content. Let's just arrange public readings. We also might showcase the collection without investing time in finances and in the research time. We can just make a publication, right? Why should we keep making book exhibitions and library exhibitions? Maybe these are the times when these expenses have to be allocated to more strategically important positions like digitization or safety. But then I remembered and went through the last projects that I was involved in and my colleagues worked with. And for me, it's pretty obvious, and I can't be really neutral because I love physical objects and book exhibitions. It's really a crucial thing, and it's wonderful if we look at them not as the final result and the product, and this is something that Emily also spoke yesterday about, but what if we look at the exhibitions as mediators for a broader and more serious dialogue with the audience, and this is the topic that I would like to cover today. This is a very stereotypical thing. We all know this, I believe. Exhibitions are dynamic dialogues between institutions and audiences shaped by purpose, tone, and intent. And like in an oral conversation, right, there might be different ways how we deliver information. We might whisper, we might scream. The same goes for the exhibition. They have different tone and the way we deliver this information. Yesterday we talked a lot about the 500 years of the Latvian book. We even made the joke that some people who are present here might devote their research time to find this first text that was written in Latvian language. Every year of this celebration has specific topic and theme. And every year, the library tried to create one central exhibition that would reflect on those topics. And I propose that now we will go through some of them, pointing out some important curatorial aspects and elements related to cooperation. A couple of the first projects were done by other colleagues, and the last one were the ones where I was also involved. In 2021, and I think all of us remember the year and some challenges that we were dealing with, the exhibition Return, the oldest surviving book in Latvian, actually launched and opened this cycle. And it was a really unique meditative experience, and I've speculated here a bit. I see and I felt this exhibition as a contemplation, as a very close and intimate process when you are alone with the content that is created by a complex team. In this exhibition, there was opportunity to see in person in Riga the oldest surviving book published in Latvian, the Catechism of Dutch Jesuit Petrus Canisius, translated into Latvian and published in 1585. And visitors were encouraged to follow this route as an interactive path leading to the book, like a procession path, like a procession road. This is a really interesting example, and I believe that part of the success of this exhibition, of course, is strong collaborative work, but also here yesterday we also talked about the plenty of different people who are involved, and I think we also have to praise the technical people who are doing this magic with audio, video things in our exhibitions and really implement those ambitious ideas of the curators. In the contrast to this intimate exhibition, the next project came, The Awakening, the story of the Henhutians. And again, in my speculation, I would say that this exhibition is as an awakening exhibition, as an awareness of the roots. In Latvia, Henhutism began as a religious movement, but it also emphasized education, knowledge, encouraging Latvians to stand up for the freedom, and it's very tightly linked with the ideas of self-awareness. And this exhibition, it really lifted the spirits, and it's not about exhibition as a final product, it's about the supplementary activities, the program that was marvelously, I can't be neutral here, was built around this event, this exhibition. And there were also a lot of visual metaphors, and yesterday we talked about different senses that might be involved in the exhibitions. And here, for example, after you enter the exhibition, you see part of the real tree, wood, and of course this wood, those roots provide a very specific smell that also affects your perception of the space. And here it creates this multimodal metaphor with the timeline, and it's something that created this powerful vision. These are just some examples of how scenography looked like. And talking about the additional things, additional products that are created and built around the exhibition, in this case, these are just several examples. Exhibition catalog, which was also a very special physical experience because of the designer's thought about how the cover should look like, and the content also included a really interesting diversity of topics, but we will talk about it in a second. For example, there were special events, Henhutian Song Evening, which again is a really interesting collective practice, or even when it comes to a very traditional, maybe classical topic, some provocation might happen when it comes to the titles of those events. For example, we had an event titled To Dig Out Jon Steinhauer, who was a leader of the Henhut movement, and politician, educator, and a very significant figure in the history of Latvia. Yes, and you can see Maya, who is the curator of the library, and one also really interesting activity that took place at the library, and it was tightly linked with this idea of self-awareness, writing and creativity. Together with the writer Oswald Zebris, there was a writing workshop where people tried out and really attempted to write their own life stories. Exhibition as homecoming, and it was a project, one of the first projects that I was involved here in the library. It was implemented in 2023 in Antwerp, and it was a visually really modest exhibition because we had several limitations. First of all, the exhibition hall where the exhibition was opened had really important things that could not be touched. For example, this old tapestry. We could not build glass cases that would be higher than the level of the tapestry. And of course, the interior was important. And this was the case where glass coffins really worked really well, because this exhibition was about the first printer of Riga, Nicholas Smolin, and there are no evidences that would reveal a lot about his personality. No portrait is saved, we don't know a lot of his personal life. Actually, the only evidence that helps us to build something about his personality is his printed work, his printed material, and by studying his equipment, by studying actually topics and maybe some comments that he also made, sometimes some inscriptions in his books, we might try to understand something about his personality and his life. And when you have those limitations, like some specific approaches to the space design, we still wanted to do something special. If it's a homecoming of sorts, if it's the first time when both of his periods are together, we decided to be sentimental, and without a big budget, we created a special zone with one station where every visitor could put a stamp with the really important initial letter A with the small tiny defect on it that's at one moment helped to reveal a vast number of books that was actually published by Mollens, because they were initially anonymous. And people really used this opportunity. They printed postcards, and of course there was an inscription that we encourage people to send this postcard from Antwerp to Riga. I doubt actually that some people use this in a very direct way, but I believe that many houses and maybe desks are now having the copies of those exhibitions. And we also made a small booklet that really revealed this essence of a typographer, of a printer, that really supported the ideas revealed in the content. And when it comes to the cooperation aspect, this exhibition was really crucial when it comes to the research, to the mutual exchange of knowledge with the group that was at the exhibition Text is Not Our Type yesterday. We spoke about the research background of this exhibition, and really thanks to this project, thanks to this strategic move to have this partnership, actually now we have wonderful academic outcomes, some new evidences about his life, and we also are happy by the fact that the interest in the Baltic Sea region was sparked, and in November we held a very nice conference about the early modern book trade, which is again another of the results that exhibition might provide. Exhibition as a provocation, exhibition as a game. This is something that has already been explored by part of you. By part of you, we are going to see it within 10 minutes. This is exhibition Text is Not Our Type. Exhibition is something playful. This project tackled a really niche theme: typography, book design. For me, before starting this, it was difficult to imagine that a vast group of people will come to see something about the text layout. Wow, it's so important to know something about the grid. That's why we had this goal in our mind that this exhibition should focus to teenagers, to young people, or to general public, but I actually doubt that such term as general public actually exists, because it doesn't say us anything about the audience, who is this general public. But the goal was to create visual appealing story that would explain those complex concepts about how the book is built, so that it is easily understood by young people or people who are just read books, not study them, write them, or make them. Yes, this is an insight into the scenography of the exhibition. So the exhibition hall is not very big, but we wanted people to feel as if they are inside this grid of the 80s computer game. And the inspiration came from the actual decorative elements used by Riga First Printer that we somehow converted into Tetris, or the famous arcade games of the 80s. And the part that I'm really happy about in the case of this exhibition is the sense of community that was developed. And I think we should not be afraid of approaching people that might come out of completely different background, or we did not have any previous cooperation with them. When it came to the creation of the public program for Text is Not Our Type, we thought about the past, present, and the future, and we approached academics, we approached contemporary designers, and the activity program was really intense and diverse. So, for example, there could be a meeting with designers and devoted to the topic of book layout and why it's important to talk about it, or why is it important to have a clear vision, what words we use when it comes to the terminology. And then we had some fun workshops for children, for families, where they could print posters or Christmas gift cards using the copy of 16th century printing press. This is the opening of the printing press. happened a year ago, so someone has already seen it, but someone will do it soon. Yeah, here's an insight in some activities. For example, on the left, there is an event about the importance and the significance of paper, and the public that attended that event was really diverse. There were students from Riga Technical School, from the art school. There were people from printing houses, project managers from the printing houses that are not interested in the content of the book, but more keen on learning about the materiality of the book. And library and this exhibition and this moment really became this focal point where all those diverse perspectives are meeting and exchanging with opinions, sometimes arguing, sometimes debating about whose approach is the right one, but really we are happy to see some provocative discussions as well here. Yes. What we try to do, we also cooperate with artists, with contemporary designers. As a side project related to this exhibition was a cooperation with a very famous and awarded book designer, Alexei Murashko, and we created a really interesting, unique visual experiment, a book that you can't read. There is no text that is readable, but it's a journey throughout the typography, starting from the Gutenberg's Bible and leading us to the 21st century. Yes, on the right, it's me explaining people what's movable type on the museum night. On the left, there is a picture from the event called My Molen, where we invited 3 completely different scholars of different generations who shared with their insights of their research, how do they see this personality and how do they build them. Exhibition is a critical look at the library, or exhibition is a reflection about past, present, and future. And here I have to apologize. Maybe in this time my speculation is really weak, Maya. But currently there is exhibition as a library, a birthright on display, which I really encourage you to take a look. And we will have another tour. In this case, it's a very complex, multi-layered narrative about libraries. I wasn't involved in this project, but I really love this provocative attitude and this critical look at ourselves as library, as an institution nowadays. And if we talk about this cooperation and some other crucial aspects for exhibitions, Maya and Pauls will definitely tell about this, but in parallel to this exhibition, there were a couple of surveys conducted in Latvia about the contemporary reading habits of Latvians, which is again another crucial topic because reading is a big challenge, right, in not only in Latvia, but all across the world. Yes. In order to conclude, and by the end I decided that I will be serious and I will include even this slide, exhibitions, in my opinion, shouldn't be seen as final products, but as a starting point, just the beginning for a broader package of services offered for diverse audiences. When it comes to exhibition teams, it's really nice to reinvent yourself every time when it comes to a new project, to develop contrasting exhibitions, because those first exhibition, the return, the awakening, and text is not our type, that's the same exhibition hall, it's the same exhibition room, which provides us completely different feeling of the space, which hopefully, but here I'm theoretical, there's no evidence, maybe it might spark additional curiosity for visitors. If they're used to see something green and classical, then something yellow and textually provocative comes in. Not all creative ideas require large financial investments to be effective. This is mantra that I'm reading and trying to calm myself down. You also might print some postcards or do some small details that are integrated in your exhibitions. And building new partnerships with new parties, new individuals attracts new audience to the exhibitions. I would not expect, I did not have this belief that the library exhibitions were considered to be stylish among the contemporary designers or people from the Art Academy. But it was lovely to see professors bringing the students to learn about that boring Riga first printer, but it's really interesting to see how the old printed material might be topical and useful and serve as an inspiration source for contemporary peers. So thank you very much. Do you have any questions? I will bring you the mic. Oh, yes, please.
Thank you. we're talking this morning about how to engage the audience, and Vanessa had an interesting comment. Some things that are known to us are unknown to others, and that's a challenging point when you're organizing an exhibition. And what we are trying to do usually is to organize some kind of a mystery game, you know, to treat an exhibition as a mystery game where an interested audience would come and open something up, read something up, go through the whole thing and learn a lot. And that's the part where the curator can do a lot. On the other side, you have the audience which is not that interested maybe in subject, so you have to have a designer who's going to communicate that in the most simple way, so that actually the visitor who comes to the exhibition goes through it, enters, exits, and you know, unrealizing learns a lot about the thing. So I think you managed very well with the things that you showed us yesterday. So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this wonderful comment. But just a quick joke. I can't live without jokes. You've seen something. You told that something that is known for us is unknown for others. But sometimes when it comes to a new exhibition project, the topic might be also known for the curators or people who start working on it. And that's about diving in, digging in, and turning something that is unknown to you into your favorite topic for the next 2 or 3 years. So thank you once again.